Hey folks, after many failed attempts, I apologize. I tried to stream at the event and the network was horrible, man. It's for some reason the network just kept failing. So I just decided to stop all the live streams, and then I was just gonna wait until I get back to the hotel for a minute before we hit up dinner. And then I'll talk about it real quick. So, you know, I really wanted to get a Q&A going for you guys to see what you guys thought about the phone. Shout out to LaShawn and Tony's in there, and a bunch of people in there. Thanks guys for coming in. I just wanted to do a quick stream now that I'm back at the hotel for a minute before I head back out. The service in there, for some reason, my YouTube app kept crashing. So, I wanted to come back to the hotel real quick. I'll have an official video up once I get back to the lab. But for now, I wanted to talk about, the device, and get you guys a start. Now, it's easy to ask you guys what you think about it, but you haven't used it. You haven't seen it in person. So, it's more of a, first, what do you guys think about it firsthand from what you can see right now? The first part about it that I know you guys, might not like is AT&T exclusive. It is what it is. Sometimes companies pay, AT&T is paying a lot of grip, I guess. I don't know, they're paying to get the device first. It's just one of those things, And again, post your questions in here, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. So there's going to be questions about, like Tony's already saying, what about how's the battery life going to work? Those are 1080p displays, and I don't think you'll have a problem with the battery. You just have to, I guess you just have to use it, because it's right now you guys don't have any hands-on. So, until you can get a hands-on, it's kind of it's just more of about what you see. And it kind of looks like a Nintendo DS. That's not really an insult either. The hardware is really good in person. I think you guys, when you feel that hardware, you think of, if you like how the G6 feels, that premium feel of the G6, I think you'll really like the feel of that phone. It's not very big. It's thick. It's not very big. It's very pocketable, but it folds open into almost a 7-inch display. So it's actually really nice, man. Tony, get out of here with that hammer stuff, man. It's actually really nice in person. I think if it's one of those phones that is something new. And I was talking to somebody offline, and the person was saying, people always ask for innovation and they ask for change, but when they get it, they don't want it. So it's kind of, that's what it is. Like, this is something that someone tried. Kyocera tried this with the Echo back in 2011, and it didn't fare well, but the specs on the 2011 Kyocera Echo was nowhere near what this one is. This is actually a really nice looking device, but the problem I see is that it's only for AT&T, and obviously the first question I got was, "Yo, Jay, when is it coming to T-Mobile?" I'm like, but I was sitting front row, and again, I tried to stream it for you, but the YouTube app kept crashing or something like that. So I just gave up. I said, forget it, man. I tried to stream inside the other portion of the media event. I actually got about 3 minutes of video out without it messing up. The phone looks really, really nice, man, in person. You have to, it's just, some phones, you just have to get them in hand. You got to get them in person, and you have to just feel it and play with it for yourself and buy it and use it, So I couldn't get any connections anywhere, and that's rare with my T-Mobile. I brought my T-Mobile and I brought my Cricket, but I just took the T-Mobile in and I didn't take the Cricket in, so I didn't get a chance to see if AT&T's would have been better. But nonetheless, that's done and over with. The device itself, a lot of people, it's right now, if you look at polls, it's kind of 50-50. There's a lot of people that actually like it, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people that might be afraid, to do something like that. But it's really small, man. The fact that it has a 5.2-inch display on both displays, that right there should let you know how big it is. It's actually kind of a compact. I saw someone posting, oh, it's got big bezels. Listen, man, until you get it in your hand and use it, it's kind of one of those things you just have to use it to see what it's like. The hardware feels really premium. Got that cold metal touch, you know what I mean? LaShawn said, what's the price? AT&T is selling it for $27 a month, which equates to about $650, around there, around $650. So, you know, for what they're offering in this device, you gotta show a little bit of love to it, man. It's a first generation device. It's basically you're getting two phones pretty much, you know? So, it's something different. It's something new. Yeah, that's not bad. And I know of LaShawn, everybody give LaShawn a hand clap. If he say it's not bad, that phone is going to sell like hotcakes, because that dude is tough on phones, man. And he is a Pixel dude. And he even said it's not bad. So that phone is going to sell like hotcakes, because if he likes it, man, it's going to do real good, because he is hard to please with phones, man. That's not a bad price when you think about it, man. It folds open into almost a 7-inch display. It's very small too, man. So I think you just have to hit an AT&T store, and then you'll see, you know, you'll see what it's about. You get to use it a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's actually really premium. It feels good in the hand, and again, it's super small, but it folds open. Very eclectic design, something new. It's what the industry needs. Now, this is a first generation device, and this is the first stab at it. And the truth is, when you're doing something that's first generation, sometimes you can't just jump out full-fledged, and you can't just throw everything in the hat. You just can't do it. So you got to take your time. And so maybe that's why they went with AT&T. Maybe they had a bid on it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe AT&T said, look, we can definitely use this for media content, because we got a lot of streamers. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't gotten any word on the unlocked version, because basically if you get the AT&T one, any network that uses AT&T network and SIM cards, you can do it. So Cricket, you're good to go. If you're on Cricket and you want one, you automatically can use it. But I don't know any word on the unlocked version. But I would say probably, you know, check back in January or however they decide to launch it. I don't know. I just went to the press event, so I'm media. So I think it's a good step. I think it's a step in the direction that the industry should go. Some people are thinking bending displays. You know how difficult that's going to be to mass produce and get it to actually work. The probability of it happening with something going wrong with that phone, if it's a bendable display like the ones that they're showing wrapping around your arm and stuff, is higher. But the fixing a phone that has two displays, that's going to be real easy. And another thing that makes that phone kind of attractive is the hinge on there. You see how small the hinge is? The hinge, the hinge is like, it doesn't even seem like it's there in some instances when I was using it. But it's actually pretty nice, man. It's a premium feeling phone, and regardless of what you might hear online or see online, people type in, only a few people have got online and said, oh, it's garbage. But those people probably didn't use it. You know, I don't know, but the hinges in the middle that kills it for me. Plus the design has been done before, nothing new. Get out of here with that nothing new design stuff. You know, no disrespect, that's your opinion, but you just looking at it. I think that's the problem with the tech community. They see, and listen, I'm not saying you're wrong for your statement. That's your opinion. I shouldn't say get out of here with it, but what you're saying isn't really accurate, because what Kyocera did back in 2011. This phone is nothing like that. You're just looking at the overall folding display, but you need to use it, and you would say differently. You know what I mean? Exclusivity is, I don't like that either, but as far as the design being done, they're doing something that hasn't been done yet. It's a good idea. So what needs to happen is the rest of the OEMs need to capitalize on it. Give it a chance, man. I think that's the problem with a lot of the tech communities. They automatically write something off if it's not this. Or if it's not whatever you hold in your hand, if it's not the same. You have to be open to change, especially if you're in the tech community. You have to be open to change. You have to want to go, like the 18:9 ratio. I didn't like it when I first saw it. I remember being in my Telegram group, and I was talking to the guys in the Telegram group, and I was like, oh man, I just don't like this. But eventually it grew on me. How can we move forward in the industry with different things You can only do so much with a phone that's straight like this. Like, what else are you gonna do? You gonna keep making it longer? We've been walking around with big those pranks where people holding iPads. That's where we're gonna be at if we don't think of something. If you don't think this is a game changer, you don't really know technology. You're not really into technology like you think you are. Just because the Kyocera Echo failed in 2009, we're in 2017. And this phone, I'm telling you, I'm not promoting the brand. I'm not getting paid. I'm not here. I'm here just like with the media event like everybody else. I'm a YouTuber and I'm at a spot where I can go to some media events. That's just what it is. So you don't have to take my word for it, but I'm telling you, this is a compact phone that folds open into a tablet. Think about that. How is that not innovation? It's truly innovation, but some people get caught up on the name of the company. I bet you if Samsung was doing it, or HTC or LG, or some of these really, really well-known people in the US, everybody would get on there and say, oh, this is fantastic. But since it's not a lot of people's favorite OEM at the moment, oh, that's garbage, or, you know, it's not going to work. I'm not partial to any brand. I like Samsung, HTC, BlackBerry. Okay, I'm a little partial to BlackBerry. I like BlackBerry. But give it an opportunity, man. Give it a chance to work. If you haven't used it yet, you got to be a little bit more open-minded about it. If you say you're into technology, how could a tech nerd just immediately write it off without using it? Like how can you? That's the problem in the tech community I see. So many people, if it's not what you're used to, you say it's not innovation. You know, I think that brand recognition is everything to a lot of people, right? But I feel like if you disassociate yourself with brand, you'll have a lot more fun in the tech community. Ironically enough, people say all the time, "Oh, you loyal to this or you loyal to that." I'm thinking, man, you don't follow my channel if you think I'm loyal to one brand. But if I was, I wouldn't go to other videos and trash people and say that it's not as good as that brand. That's really immature. I wouldn't do that. But this AxonM, it's actually pretty hot, man. It's gonna take it's gonna take a little time to grow on you. Now, I'm not saying it's all roses. Now, let me be clear here. I don't like the cameras. You know, the software. That's what I don't like. The software. The cameras have great potential, but the software is the same software from the other ZTE phones. And that's something that I didn't really care for, and I don't care for that it's exclusive to AT&T. Pretty much after that, I'm kind of open to everything. You know, I'm gonna stay open to it because I think that if we're in this tech thing and we're saying we want to see innovation, if you don't think this is innovation, what do you think is innovation then? You know? It's running Android 7.1.1 or 7.1.2, I believe it is. I used it. I don't know where the 6 comes from, but it's got Android 7.1.2 and it's getting updated to Oreo. He said that in the event. Like I said, if you were watching the event, you would have heard him say, we're starting off. He basically said, this is a first try at it, but we're going to be the first ones to innovate this. And he pretty much said, we're starting out with Android 7.1.2. He might not have said the 2, but it's running the 2. And, you know, and they're going to move to Android O. You know, that's what it is. LaShawn missed the event. Yeah, it's getting an update to Android O in the first quarter, I believe. He said something like that. But it's right now it's on 7.1.2. But really, that shouldn't really matter to you too much because the phone runs good, man. It's the screens. It has two 1080p displays. It's actually a really solid phone, man. You just got to be open for it. You got to be open for it. You got to be open for it. If you're not open for it, you know, just being a tech nerd is not also going to assure the phone is going to be ahead of average consumer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, the average consumer is going to have. They're not targeting tech nerds. Don't get me wrong. They're not targeting tech nerds. They're targeting average consumers for media because the AT&T dude, when I was listening to him, he wants to sell AT&T's unlimited service. Remember when the AT&T dude was on stage? He was pushing the the exclusive deal with them for the AT&T service. LaShawn, is there a lot of bloatware? No, there's not a lot of bloatware on there. Like the ZTE phones don't have bloatware. No? Incorporate some kind of, what is that? I missed it. I'm gonna open up another chat here. But let's see. I think if people are a little open to change, it can go a long way. You have to be open in the tech field, because in the tech community, we're going to see pretty much everything first. We're going to see a lot of stuff first. And so if you're not open to change, what are you going to do? How are you going to evolve or move forward in the tech community? So all phones, when they first come out, or devices, they have flaws. And like I said, you know, I'm trying to open up the chat so I can see you guys, what your comments are. All phones that come out, they're going to have some kind of flaws. And like I said, I don't really care too much for the camera software, and I don't care that it's exclusive to AT&T. You know, the $650 price, that's actually not a bad price when you think about it. Think about what's on today's market. You know, and you think about what you could pay $650 for and what you're not getting in a phone. But this phone is something different, man. And you know, you just, either you love it or you hate it. Either you're going to buy it or you're not going to buy it. Right now, I think it's probably going to be a toss-up with people until... See, another thing that's going to happen is people are going to flock to well, the tech reviewers, or not tech reviewers, techie people like us flock to YouTube to see who's already got the phone and checked it out. So, and that sways people a lot, you know, because some of the people will just get on there and say, don't buy it. And like, why would you tell a person not to buy it, you know? It's heading in a completely different direction than where we are today. And I think that's what people need to look for, you know? So I already made a challenge. Why are you worried about sales, though? Like, why? I guess only tech people worry about sales. Is it made for the average consumer? The average consumer is, I think, who they're kind of looking for. It's got stereo speakers. It's got 2 screens. It looks good in person, dude. It looks really good. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of it only going to AT&T, and then I'm not a fan of the camera software. You know, that's kind of you know, it's got a headphone jack, stereo speakers. I mean, it's a lot to like about it, but you just have to use it. So when it goes to the AT&T stores, see, I guess I would tell people, a lot of people probably can't do it, but I would say go ahead and buy it. If you can, you get a 14-day return policy. Buy it and try to use it for about 10 days straight, and then see how you fare. Some people don't want to go through the hassle of doing that, or I guess it's not a hassle, but some people just don't want to do that. And that's their choice. But I think until you actually try it, because I try to stick to doing that. I try to stick to my word and try most of the things that I might possibly want to criticize. So this is one of them. Obviously, well, I don't know if I'm gonna get. I'll buy it or not. I have an account. I can buy it. You know. It's innovation. Yodaphone. Yeah, Yodaphone was another one. Yodaphone was another one that had good quality. Yeah, and you know what's so crazy? I hate to keep using my boy LaShawn, but if LaShawn is, I'm not saying LaShawn is a closed-minded person, but he's just a pixel person. And if it got his attention, I know everybody else can go check it out. Because LaShawn does not focus on anything but the pixel. And obviously he's intrigued a little bit by it. I mean, you got to admit, it's innovation, man. It's something different. It's obviously completely different than what we're doing right now, and that's what we want, don't we? We don't want to keep doing the same thing, the same phones that look like TV remotes, you know? This is where we're going, you know? So you got to want something different. You have to want it. You know, if you don't want it, then that's, you know, if you don't want to see something different, that's on you. But I don't know how long I could go with just doing the same thing. Just not feeling. Yeah, it's not for everybody. Yeah, somebody said I'm just not feeling it. Yeah, it's not for everybody. No one. I'm not trying to force anybody to like it, but it's not for everybody. Some people are just used to what they're used to, and that's what it is. You know. I think it's gonna fare well with people who like do a lot of media content, or people who might want a small tablet. You know. Yeah, like the one guy said, it'll have a small crowd, or it'll have a big crowd. You know? It's not out yet, so we don't know how it's going to fare well with everybody. We don't know, but it will have at least a small crowd of people who are truly into it. You know. So I think that's where I'm at with it, man. I enjoy it. It's fast. It's very fluid. It's a nice phone, you know. Yeah, it's a nice phone. It's one of those ones that I used to think that the 18:9 ratio was something that was going to fade away, but I was wrong. You know, it's here to stay, and this is where all the phones are going. So what I think is going to happen is other OEMs are going to try to weigh off of what this phone does, and they're going to try to make a better design or something. Like they're going to try to make it with better screens. They're going to do something. They're going to, and this kind of, I would think this is where ZTE is actually trying to hit home to. So, you know, you're going to have to, somebody's got to jump out there. Samsung did it with the Galaxy Note 8, or excuse me, with the Galaxy Note, and then other phones have launched things. There's just been a first for a lot of things, and somebody has to do it. So if no one tries it, we are stuck with the same designs of phones. You know, that's just what it is. So if nobody ever tries anything, then how can we move forward? Looking at some comments here. So it's going to launch, the AxonM is going to launch exclusively to AT&T, and it's also going to launch overseas. So, you know, I guess exclusive deals, they do suck, you know, but what can you do? People are just, you know, the people are going to buy into something or they're not going to buy into it. And sometimes exclusive deals can hurt a product. Like here's another one that's exclusive to AT&T is the Active line by Samsung. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you launch that on all the companies? That would help people who don't want to buy a case and they want a rugged phone that's actually a really good rugged phone, you know? So the AxonM, it doesn't feel fragile. The hinge is strong. If you're wondering about the hinge, it's like super strong. It's just it's a nice phone. It's not for everybody. Like I reviewed the other ZTE phone. I actually brought it with me because the call quality is really good. The small ZTE phone, that little $60 phone that a lot of YouTubers seem to have gotten, that one has fantastic call quality, you know, and I said that in my review video of it. But there's a phone for everybody, man. I have a phone that I think the video might have gone live, or I don't know. It's from some company, this one company I used to work with a while back, Sell Allure. I think it might have went live already. That phone is not, yeah, it went, well, did it go live? Yeah, I think it went live. I think it did. But, you know, there's phones out there for everybody. And just because one person doesn't like it, you know, it is what it is. Everybody's not gonna like the latest and greatest phones that drop out. So I think that Sell Allure video might have went live. Yeah, I think it did. But there's phones out there for everybody, and there's somebody out there that are actually going to use this phone. Yeah, the Temple X, that's the one. The Temple X, that's actually got good call quality. I actually talk about that in my video, in my review of it. The call quality is fantastic, man. That's like a sweet backup phone for me. I brought it with me, you know what I'm saying, just in case. Let's see. I got it in here. I keep it stashed away because, you know, it's like my emergency joint. Here it is. This one. This phone right here has good call quality, man. The Temple X, sweet call quality on here, man. So, I mean, it's a backup phone. You know, for me it would be. You know, should I buy that? Oh man, it's talking about something else. What's going on, Force Tech? I see. But all phones that come out aren't going to do well. You know, some phones just don't do well. That's just what it is. But there's also a market for everybody. So I heard it was coming at to T-Mobile. They bring the Samsung Galaxy S8. Yeah, the Galaxy S8 is going to T-Mobile. But this Boost phone right here, the call quality, this Temple X, this thing is pretty sturdy. I'll drop it a few times, you know, no cracks or nothing like that. But the call quality, though, is what's most important. Some phones, man, I just kind of I find something good in them, and this phone has good call quality. Straight up, call quality is good. Sorry if you hear things beeping. But the M, I think it's going to do well. I think it'll do well for the crowd of people that want to multitask. That's what it's about. There's people out there who actually want to multitask like that, and that's what they're gonna buy it. This comment, no disrespect, but this is kind of a silly comment. The AxonM is cool, but why did they make it? What? Think about what you type before you type it, man. Come on, son. I mean, no disrespect, but that's a silly comment, man. That's just like saying the J7 is cool, but why did they make it? What? Dude, they're making the phone because it's out there for somebody. Somebody wants it, whether you think it's important or not. Some people, man, some of the things they say is kind of. LG X Venter is a pretty cool rugged phone. Yeah, there's a bunch of different types of rugged phone. This isn't really a rugged phone. Yeah, LaShawn, woosah. Some people, man, like some of the stuff people say, it's like, what? Jay, you be hating on Sprint, but you like the call quality, huh? Man, get out of here, man. I'm nobody hating on Sprint. You know, I had a Sprint account for like 15 years. How am I hating on Sprint? Bounce with all that, man. Bounce. But yeah, man, that phone is gonna sell to someone. It's gonna sell to someone. Someone's going to buy it. What's going on, man? Tony, I see you. Did you ever get an official price on the M? Yeah, it was actually in the. Oh, I guess some of you guys missed the live stream. I guess some of you guys missed the live stream. It's on AT&T only, and it's $27 a month, and that comes to about $650 from my calculations. Dude, watch the stream. Like, you guys in my stream asking me if they need to explain, go to the ZTE page, man. If you missed the live stream, go watch the replay. They go over a full detail. I don't work for ZTE. I'm just doing my thoughts on it. I think the camera software needs improvement, and I don't like that it's with AT&T. It's $650. $650 is a pretty decent deal based on what today's market is, you know. It has stereo speakers. It also has Dolby audio, so when you plug it in, they have a Beats setup out there. They got Beats. They had some, well, they didn't have a Beats setup. They had different types of headphones plugged in, and it was Beats headphones plugged in. And you know, the Axon phones, most of them have Dolby Atmos. And it sounds fantastic. It sounds good. It sounds right on par with like the Axon 7 and you know any other phone that has the Dolby sound. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you'll be upset about the audio. It's got stereo sound too. So I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, speakers should be okay, but I guess if I'm talking to a lot of tech followers or average consumers, it doesn't matter which one you are. Go look at it for yourself. Go try it for yourself. Don't even take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? Go use it, because when I do these reviews and stuff like that, you're looking at my experience, and you're looking at what I feel about the phones. Some people disagree, some people agree. I understand. That's just the way it's supposed to be. I don't want you to agree with everything I say because you think I'm a nice guy or you like how I do YouTube. Disagree respectfully. Disagree. You know, and that's I don't want everybody to agree with everything. I think you need to have your own mind and think for yourself. But when it comes to technology, all of these reviews that you see are all subjective. If you say that you found an objective review, show me where it's at. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. So, battery life. Some people are concerned about battery life. I don't think battery life is going to be as bad as what you think. And just now, take my word for it. I don't think battery life is going to be as bad as what you think. The event was about, shout out to LaShawn, the event was about 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so, almost an hour, I think. They'll probably put it live back on their channel. Yeah. The battery life, remember, it's just two 1080p displays, and also you're not going to walk around with it permanently open. You know, so think of it like a 3,500 milliamp hour battery powering a small 6-inch tablet. You see what I'm saying? So you basically are getting the best of both worlds. I don't know why people would think it's a bad battery life when you think of it that way. It's two 5.2-inch displays, and you open it up, you get almost 7 inches in the diameter. Why would it not have good battery life? Yeah. I think it's going to fare well with battery. I think it's going to do well with battery. And to the person saying why a 821 processor, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Snapdragon 821. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I don't tweet to ZTE on Twitter and ask them. You probably gonna not get a response, you know, but I don't know. But the fact that it has a Snapdragon 821, I don't care. I mean, I used it, so that doesn't bother. That's just like saying, why would I get the first generation Pixel? Well, you would get the first generation Pixel because the Snapdragon 821 is tried and true. It's a good processor. So they went with something probably, when you think about it, now here's my opinion on why I would, if I just had to choose and I wanted to save some money on building a device, I would go with the generation that was before. And the Snapdragon 821 isn't an old processor. The 835 though is a new processor. So why not? Like, you probably could save a whole bunch of money, and like as far as building them and stuff like that. So you probably could save a whole bunch of money and you're still getting good solid performance. And I don't think it's going to do bad on battery at all. Just trying to keep up some of these comments. But I think, I think people who slam stuff quickly, like it's like, and early when I started the stream, shout out to people who just joined the stream in the last 5 to 10 minutes. I'm just doing a quick, like, not really a quick Q&A, I guess I named it that, but just kind of talking about it because I just left from over at the event and I came back to the hotel and I was like, I'm gonna do a live stream because I was trying to do live streams at the event and for some reason I was having the worst time. That never happens, but the phone is coming out. It's exclusive to AT&T, and it's $650. There's people putting up the wrong pricing, talking about $730. That's in somewhere else, but some people are tweeting and posting that it's $730, but it's $27 a month. I would hope that their final price isn't $730, because that comes to $27 a month comes to about $650 in my calculations almost, so, or a little bit more. It's like $27.51 or $27.14 is what they put up there on the screen, but at least it ain't Domino's, Heat and Wave. Yeah, that 810 processor. And again, LaShawn and all the people who are saying that the 821 is not bad, they're right. It's not bad. Like, why did they have to use a Snapdragon 835? They have their own reasoning. I don't know what it is, but we all know that the 821 is a tried and true processor, which means there's not a lot of issues being reported in the masses about the 821. It's just not. So keep that in mind, And I think a lot of people and it's only in the tech communities, man. I was talking about, everybody is riding this phone right here, So to me, that phone is not for me. This Tempo X, but I can find good in everything that I have, even if it's not a person. There's good in every person. Even if they can't see it, you go and look for something positive in someone and you will find it. And even for a phone like this, there's something. I got good call quality. And when I did the review of this phone, I just put the video footage up to let you decide. Audio on this phone was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. And the front camera was a slouch. It was not great, like I said. And the rear camera was below average. But think about what you're paying for here. This phone costs $50. But there's some positive to this, man. I'm telling you, this call quality was banging on here. And I got a headphone jack and a Ridge power button. So there's something to like about it, There's something to like about it. I'm looking at some comments here, trying to catch up. Yeah, I don't really care about a person saying, like, it's kind of funny how some people decide to put out that something's really bad. But when you hear stuff like that, like I've said a lot of phones were bad, but when you hear a person saying a phone is bad or horrible or trash, you know what you ought to do? You ought to go get it for yourself. And ZTE did send these out to everybody. Well, not to everybody. They sent them out to a few people. The first thing I would say to a person who gets a free product to review, the worst thing you could do is not use tact when reviewing it. Let's get real here for a minute. If you're doing a video on something that you got for free, which I got this for free through, and I was like, even if I don't like it, what do I do with phones that I don't keep around? I give them away. Because somebody could use this phone. There's somebody that has a flip phone on Boost and they wanted a smartphone and they couldn't afford to get one. Honestly, $60 or $59, that's a lot of money. This isn't the best phone to a person who's using something like this. If you're using a high-end, powerful smartphone, you're going to think this phone is trash. But in all actuality, there's something good about this phone. And what I got from it was great call quality. I did the same review. Everybody, let's talk about this for a second. Everybody kept talking about Tony Pazzo's video and, you know, how he smashed his phone with the hammer. This is the tempo. Truthfully, that was his approach. If that's how he wants to run his YouTube channel, that's what he can do. I found something. I didn't really like this phone either, but, you know, respectfully, I just decided to make a video like I always do. I try to keep it balanced. I tried to find something good in it. And everything I didn't like, I pretty much stated it in the video that I didn't really like the phone too much. But I just said it in a different way. It's called tact. You know, this phone is $59, and I can guarantee you the masses are buying this and not this. You think about that. You don't see gazillions of these being sold, but the masses are buying phones like this. So if they do break, they can afford to go get another one, or they can take their time getting another one. This Tempo X, people, and another thing is, the only people switching phones every week is techies, not the average consumer. The average consumer is not. They're keeping their phones until it falls to pieces. Or they're keeping their phones. I know you see all those people walking around with cracked screens or cracked up backs because a cell phone is not priority to them. To techies, it is, though. And this little Tempo X thing is getting a lot of attention right now, you know, because ZTE, I guess, or whoever, the company sent them out to some reviewers, and I was one of those reviewers. You know, I don't like this phone too much, but I'm not gonna go out and throw it across the river and tell everybody not to buy it, because in actuality, there's more people walking around with phones like this than the reverse. Some people really believe that the tech community is the majority. You're wrong. We're the minority. It's just what it is. And I can't stress it enough. This isn't a phone that I would go out to buy. I'm being honest. I wouldn't buy this because I'm at a point in the smartphone game where I'm able to get something very powerful like this, and so I'm going to do it. But again, the masses are not buying these $1,000 phones. They're keeping their money, and they're buying phones that are $50 because a phone is not priority to them. That's what it is, man. I think guys, everybody just riding that tip on, you know, this phone is trash and this phone. There's plenty of other phones that are garbage, if you will, if that's the terminology you want to use. But there's plenty of other phones that are right in line with this one and cost more. Like there's a phone, the Cell Allure 2 phone that I just released on video. It's right in line with this phone, but it's not as good as this phone. But this phone isn't great. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's always something that's worse. And so there's a lot of Samsung phones out there that are like low end like this. They're just as bad as this one, if you want to say. It's what it is. But along with having this phone right here, there's every OEM has a phone out there that was not good. That's just what it is, man. And you know, this phone isn't great. It's not great. You know? Look at some of these comments up here. Yeah, I mean, the AxonM, is gonna sell to. Okay, I guess look at it. I guess that's what these companies do. They do surveys, for one. If you don't know, they do surveys, and they say, I've been to some product surveys before for certain companies, like for several different ones actually, and what they do is they sit you down in a room and they say, we're going to ask you some questions. And you're going to tell us what you like and what you don't like in your phone or your tablet or your watch or whatever the survey is about. They gather up that information. They do surveys a whole bunch all over the world, and they gather up that information and they take that and run with it. And then they start planning the devices out and how they're going to put it together. That's why you see more phones like this than you do like this. That's why you see, you ever go into a Verizon store and they still sell flip phones. Like, I know people that have had a flip phone for the last 20 years and they don't plan on switching to anything else. They don't want a smartphone, even an entry-level smartphone like this. So how do you think that the AxonM came about? The AxonM probably was a phone that they took surveys from people and said, how can we improve your current smartphone? At least that's what I would do. If I saw a situation to capitalize on something and I saw a person carrying a bag with a tablet and then a phone and then a stylus and then just a whole bunch of different stuff, I would say, let me do a survey with a bunch of different people around the world and see what they would tell me is something that they need. And a lot of people probably would say, well, I don't want to carry around multiple devices. So hey, again, the AxonM, in my opinion, is a first generation device. If it doesn't do well, it just doesn't do well. But ZTE said, when I heard them say that they're going to make a second generation of it, and I'm like, cool, make another generation. And I was talking to somebody and I was like, honestly, this is a first generation device and I don't expect it to be flawless, but what I do expect is to have some functionality. And I demoed it on video. Listen, it does have functionality. It does have functionality. I'm just looking at comments here. I agree with Art Dog. He says, I wish they would have given it to all the U.S. carriers. I agree with that, man. But again, some companies, I'm not going to call them greedy, but some companies pay the money. They pay the big bucks to get the exclusive. Verizon and AT&T are the only companies that I know that pay big money for exclusive deals. They work out this thing with these companies and they get them, dude. They get them. Moto E is not the best. It's not available. All the carriers and stuff from Tempos. Yeah, the Moto E4 is a pretty good phone too, but it's not available. I think I actually talk about the Moto E4 in my video for this phone. That's another phone this phone is competing against, kinda in price. But the Moto E has much better cameras, big time. What kind of case do you put on the AxonM? I think what they're going to do, and I thought about that too. I was like, man, how can they put a case on this thing? But you know what? I saw this guy walking around, like one of the CEOs or whatever. He's walking around with it, and he had a special case on it. And it was sweet. It matched the phone and everything. It was sweet. I don't think, I wanted to take a picture of it, but I don't do very many leaks. You know what I mean? So it would have been kind of weird taking a picture of, he probably would have been thinking, what the heck are you doing? But he had a case on it, so I know that there's a case for it. He had one on it, and I saw it in his hand, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, the user 271, he said it's a dream for multitaskers, and in that there's a lot of people out there that are multitaskers, but there's not a lot of power multitaskers. They're just not at certain people's levels. If you work in the corporate world, that phone probably would be great for you. You see how they had the pictures of the BlackBerry stuff on the phone, on the screen when they were doing the event? And like Nighttech said, they have holsters. A lot of people carry holsters. So they have those leather pouches that clip on. That's another good idea. And those are something that you don't have to go to a carrier for. You can just go to Walmart and buy one of those, or go online and buy your favorite one. I don't know if Cricket I don't think Cricket's going to get that. I know it's just an AT&T exclusive, but it will work on Cricket because Cricket uses the AT&T phones. So I don't think so, Lewis. I think it might work out. I think that whatever case they build for that phone will actually be pretty good. Because the hinge. Okay, so if you're doubting that the hinge is strong, if there's anybody in this stream I think Nighttech was at the event, And I was about to say Vortex was here too. Now Vortex wasn't. It's not. He's not here. But the hinge is strong, man. At least that's what I take it. I checked it out. The hinge is strong, so it won't break really easy like you might think. I don't know, Tony, how the screen will hold up, but what I can say is it's a well-built phone. It's like having like, if a phone that's really strong right now is the G6. And that's the phone that I can relate it to as far as the build quality. It is a sturdy phone, man. The G6 is a sturdy phone, and that phone has even more packed to it. You know, it's a tight, hard fit, but I can't describe it. It's sturdy. It's really sturdy, and the hinge is not a hinge that you're just gonna pick up and get flimsy and break. It's really strong. It's a strong hinge, and I think when people actually use it, I think they'll probably be happy with the hinge. That hinge is going to shock you because, you know, some people will keep it flipped open. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't good. Yeah, I thought it was cool. Yeah, you can watch, you can watch videos on, you can watch multiple videos at the same time. You can put YouTube on one side. You can put a personal movie on the other side. I don't know, man. I just hope that the second generation, is the second screen strong too? The phone has a metal chassis. The phone has a metal chassis, Art Dog. So the whole phone itself is strong. On video, it probably looks flimsy because I think a lot of people were trying to be real delicate with it. I know I was. But the phone is a very sturdy phone. The second screen snaps into place. It's pretty sweet, man. That snap, it's actually pretty hot, man. It's going to take some time to grow on a lot of people. But if you like to type out emails and stuff, oh my gosh, man, this is going to be a phone for you, dude. You get all that real estate. You can have your full email up top and typing with a full keyboard at the bottom. It's like, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. Yeah, video editors and stuff like that. There's going to be... It didn't look strong on screen. This is good. Yeah, no, yeah. The hinge in the second screen really tight, man. It's really strong. It's really strong. It's really strong. I just want to give you guys a quick update, man. Again, I was at the event trying to live stream and it just kept failing, you know. But I don't know. I was like, we'll get to the hotel. Maybe it'll be better in here. And the signal obviously is really good in the hotel. But I'll obviously have more coverage. I'll have like an official video once I get back to the lab because I shot a bunch of footage, different footage obviously from the live stream. But I got a lot of footage that I'm gonna try to put together a video when I get back to the lab. But you know, I just want to give you guys a quick update. Yeah, $650 is reasonable when you think about it, because there's phones that have one screen and they cost $650. So, you know, check it out. But I'm getting ready to go hang out with the people in the hotel. It's a bunch of YouTubers in this hotel, and I'm getting ready to go kick it with them. So, it's your man Jay Will, live stream here. I wanted to give you a live stream update, a little quick Q&A, a little chat about the phone. It's a nice phone, and you know, it's gonna be one of those ones that when you use it, you're gonna be like, this is tight. You're gonna find something about it that you really like. You know what I mean? So don't write it off just yet. You know, try it for yourself. Try it for yourself. I want to give a shout out to Tony P. I'm rocking. You gave me a shout out in your last video, Tony. So shout out to you, sir. I'll see you guys on the other side. Time to go hang out.